You can, yeah, actually.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another live session of Getty Talks. My name is Shilpi, and I'm the Relationship Manager with the Global Education and Training Institute. Well, today my guest is a very brave girl. Her name is Fatima Vaniya Haidari, and she is from Afghanistan. And she is from a very small suburb of Afghanistan, which is Herat. But her achievements are very big. Her achievements are that she has been working for the Helibate organization for 2 years as a secretary. She has also been an English teacher at Kaihan organization and JRS training leaders for tomorrow, served as English teacher in HVPO, Arriva Village Peace Organization for 8 months. She is presently pursuing a degree in journalism faculty from the Herat universities. She speaks and writes three languages very fluently: English, Pashto, and Herat. So, Fatima, the way you are, you have really impressed everybody with your, in such a small age, you have achieved so much. So I would like you to now express your views on the topic that how women contribute to a nation's progress. So, ladies and gentlemen, we might be facing a little network issue from Fatima's side because she is in the suburbs of Afghanistan. But she's a very brave person, and I will wait for her. So she's going to express her views on this topic, which is a woman's contribution in the nation's progress. So we are waiting for her. And in the meanwhile, we also thank Fatima for joining in the disruptive education movement started by Dr. Sunita Gandhi. So let's wait for her. She'll be joining very soon. Fatima will be joining us in a minute. She has been working with the refugee children in the suburbs of Afghanistan, and which is like war-ridden. But she has been contributing since her teenage, and she has got seven siblings, four brothers, and three sisters, out of which she is the youngest in the family. Just waiting for her. We are still facing some network issue on Fatima's parts. Please bear with us. Thank you for your patience. We are trying to get back to Fatima. As I told you, she is in the suburb of Afghanistan, which is Herat. Herat is actually on the very borders of Afghanistan, and it's a very small place. So there are network issues, which she had already even mentioned. So please bear with us. Fatima, you can start with the topic. Please start speaking before the network
Um,
again plays with us. So here I
okay,
go, and you can introduce yourself and start.
okay, good afternoon, everyone. I hope you are all okay, healthy, and wealthy all around the world, especially those who are just watching us as a live session. I'm Fatima Haidari as a journalist from Herat, Afghanistan, living in a suburb of Herat province. I'm really, really happy, and it's my pleasure to announce that I'm a part of GETI Global Disruptive Education Movement as an esteemed live session speaker from Afghanistan, hosted by dear wonderful Miss Shilpi. I'm so happy and thank you for bringing just the global education leaders under one platform to work on bringing changes and just for a better world. I'm honored today. Actually, I'm honored to talk on the title of roles of women in a nation's progress and how to shape the minds of the next generation, inspiring leaders of today for a disruptive change. As you all know, I'm living in Afghanistan, in a country where just history has tried to ignore the woman. And you may just all hear about it that, and I'm sure all of you know that half of the world's population are just formed by women. And let's do not forget that the other half are just born by women. What I want to tell is that half of the roles in any case of just improvement and change just have to be played by women too. As I told you, during the history and the role players in the history, just they have tried to ignore the achievements and efforts of women. But we had many strong and wonderful women leaders that turned the history and time uh, about themselves, and they just leaded the way for a better world where they can just live their fulfilling lives, where they can bring changes, where they can just take part in advancement of the world. Uh, Although just women are still in a position of, some of the women are still in a position of reduced power, and they are still violated, and their work and hard works inside and outside of the home goes unrecognized, but no one can reject their being, their efforts, and just accepting them half of the world's population. And we do not have to forget that uh, women, along with men, they can just bring changes. They can do whatever they want, and they just do and affect the world just even better than men if they want and if they will. Today, just I like to talk about the roles of women in some cases. The first case is just economic part. You know, women have their roles as skilled workers, managers, owners of companies, national, local, and also international companies and financial issues. Along with men, they can have control over the economic resources. They play active role in economic issues, create theories to improve the economic uh, and also trade unions. They actually they at all they influence the economic policies. I want to just give you an I want to just leave you with an example. Let's compare and consider the two families. The first family, men and women both just work for their financial issues. Both have income in the family, and both of them just men and with his men and with his wife just take part in bringing money and financial issues, and also they both of them just care and love their children, take part in caring and growing up their children. The second family, uh, just men are working there, and the women are just supposed to take care of the children and are not allowed to work outside of the house. um, by this side, the men work, and the family members, they are just consumers. They just spend whatever their just husband and the man of the family bring at home. First of all, they will have a poor economic because the men work, others are the consumers, and they are just do not have any income. This poor economic would create violence at home, and this violence psychologically, emotionally, and mentally affect the children. So the relationship among the family members would not be good. The second, because men at the family work and do not have any time to take care of the children, do not have any time to put love into practice for their children. So their children would be just affected mentally, emotionally, and psychologically. So they would not have a successful family. But about the first one, because both of them work, both of them take part in caring of the children and in bringing income at home. So they would be a very successful family. The next part is politic. You know, if we just let, if the world just does not discriminate the woman just upon the men, if the world and the role players in the world do not just accept the men better than women, I'm sure women can be really skilled decision makers. They can even just make decisions better than men, uh, if just they do not be discriminated and violated. Um, Today we have many just politicians, women politicians all around the world, who just make theories, who are just working for a better politics in the world, nationally, locally, and internationally. I believe that uh, a woman could be could be or and will be logical and great politicians in the world to just have a role and play their role in the best way for the betterment of the world. Uh, Along with men's, along with dozens of negative encouragement upon women, they could just build their capacity. Many of them could build their capacities and just they had benefits in the world. Um, Actually, along with the history, they have proved that they have the ability to bring changes. They have the ability to be an agent of social change, and they have the ability just have great talents, capacity, and abilities in politics. Today, society, the government, organizations, and also each part of this society needs women to work for the betterment. Unfortunately, in many countries, in many societies, we still have women who are not allowed to work outside of the house, who are not allowed to follow their dreams, and are not allowed to just take parts in society issues. I'm sure the world would be a better place. The world would be a beautiful place and a peaceful place if the men and women, both of them, were just allowed to work together, help each other, and take part in the world events, situations, conditions, and issues. Uh, the solution that all the women just go outside and work for the betterment of the actually the world, the society, their community. Um, First of all, women themselves can have a great role on the empowerment of other women. It means the women who are discriminated and violated at home. Women have strong voices. They should raise their voice. They should speak instead of those who are still voiceless at home and they want to just raise their voice, but there are men who just do not let them. Uh, to go forward, Afghanistan, here in Afghanistan, though we had many improvement and we had many women leaders who are working in the government offices, in their just personal companies, and also in the social changes and issues. But still, we have just women that are discriminated. They are not allowed to go outside of the home. Uh, I want to leave you with an example of my own family. Uh, I told to Miss Shelby that I'm the youngest member of my family. And the interesting thing is that I want to tell you that I'm the only educated person of my family too. It means I have two sisters, but both of them just they didn't educate because my father didn't let them. And after they got married, their husbands didn't let them to just educate. Beside my sisters, my brothers also, they were supposed to work hard for the financial issues of the home our home, so they were not allowed to educate. But about me, somehow it is different. The first good thing about me, it was that I was the youngest member of my family. First, my father just let me go and educate. Uh, and then they just didn't want me after I just got older. They didn't want me to educate and to go just toward my dreams. But I didn't let them. Do not let me. I told them it's my life. I will decide about my own life. I just know what to do about my own life. So you are not those who just decide about me, about my life, and about whatever I'm done. Right now, just I have a great just role in my family. They accepted me as I am, and they respect my just whatever I'm doing, because they just I just showed them I can, and I have the ability. I can be a great leader in the future of Afghanistan. And now my father is regretful. He's wishing just he just let my sisters too they educate, and now they would be someone for themselves. But unfortunately, that is impossible to change the time and take it back. About the next part that I'm going to just talk to you, it is the role of women in social works. Uh, Fortunately, here in Afghanistan, and as I see, as I'm in the picture all around the world, we have many women all around the world who are just working, doing social works. Uh, they get paid, and many of them are just working voluntarily. And I think they are the great leaders, and they are the great agent of social changes there. In Afghanistan, I'm a part of a network. The complete name of the network is Herat Volunteer Workers Network. In this network, most of the members are women. They are working voluntarily. They have campus to gather money, to gather warm clothes for just street children, children who are laboring, and also they are working for getting the rights of women. They are just speaking and raising their voice, instead of the women who just still they cannot. And they just do their best. They put efforts, and they put things into action to bring changes. And I'm sure they could bring change, and they are bringing changes. As if we just consider the government of Afghanistan, we are on a process. That process is called a peace process. Unfortunately, as I see, um, all those who are negotiators, the most of the negotiators are men, and just we have few women, maybe two, three or four women who are just negotiating for the peace process of Afghanistan. And the opposition group, it means Taliban, they do not have any woman into their negotiation table. What I want to tell them is that you have to believe women, and you have to consider women. You cannot just forget them, you cannot just ignore them, and you cannot just reject them, because God created them human as men. Gender is not a good reason to do not let them be on the negotiation table, and let them just decide about their rights, about their country, and about the peace that both men and women are going to have that in the future, inshallah. What next I want to tell, it is the women who are just taking risks all around the world. We have many women that do lots of uh, discrimination, lots of violence. Do not give up. I'm talking to the women who are just braver than what we think about them. Um, they just uh, fight against the violence, against domestic violence, against discrimination, gender discrimination. Uh, we have many women all around the world, especially in countries, third world countries like Afghanistan. We have women who just they lost their nose, lost their eyes because of domestic violence, but still they didn't give up, and they are just raising their voice for their rights. They are taking part uh, to just make a better place for their lives and the lives of the people into the country. I want to just give you an example. My friend, her name is Zahra. Uh, she was just my childhood friend. She just loved to be a journalist like me, and we dreamed together. We wished together to be a journalist. But unfortunately, her family didn't let her continue her education. So she just was supposed and she was forced to go into a forced marriage. She got married and she just has two children. Though lots of discrimination, though lots of domestic violence, uh, the bad thing about her is that she just lost one of his just eyes into domestic violence because of her husband. Uh, but still, we are just, as I told you, we are working in an organization um, for refugees. Now she just comes here and she goes on with her education. She's learning English. So I see a hope in her face. I see a hope into inside her. So that shows that starting is never late. So we have to start from now. Um, I think all of you may know just a lady by the name of Hillary Clinton. I think she was the vice president of America in the past. She says she has said that considering the rights of women, it means that considering the rights of human. Uh, I want all people all around the world who are just hearing me, who are listening to me and watching to me, please consider women and let's accept that no one can reject, no one can ignore the roles of women, the efforts of women, the achievements of women uh, into the organizations, into government, private or whether governmental, and in any things. If we just consider, if we just watch, if we just notice, both men and women are human. They have some abilities, they have some skills, they have talents. Let them just use their talents, their abilities, and their skills in a good way. Let's do not just put their talents into flames of violence, into flames of discrimination. Um, I was reading just an article about violence against women in some countries. Uh, Mostly women are uh, just sexual violence, and that is, I think, a big issue. Uh, each government, it means every government all around the world has to work for that. Uh, I want the women leaders just take care and work for that. As a girl, as a woman here in Afghanistan, I never accepted failure. I never just gave up, and I won't give up. I will work for the betterment of the world. But first of all, I want to just consider women
Well, I believe there is another network issue on Fatima's part, but then she is such a brave woman and she gives such a wonderful, talk on the empowerment of women and their contribution in a nation's progress. Um, I think we can wait for a minute or two, and if she comes back, we'll be able to put some questions across to her. Otherwise, I would like to thank her for such a beautiful speech that she just gave, talking about a woman's contribution, not just in a nation's progress in a way that talking about the jobs and careers, but so well she has explained a contribution of a woman in, right from the family to a nation. So as Napoleon said that give me good mothers, we'll have a great nation. And then some intellectual person added that give me good women and we'll have a great civilization. So thank you, Fatima. Thank you for being here. Unfortunately, we'll not be able to put across questions to her as of the network issue. So thank you, audience, even for joining in, and stay tuned in for more interesting sessions coming up in the future.